Well, welcome back, everybody. This is Troy Fullwood with Pinnacle Investments and the Thriving Investor. And for today's question, which I think is a great question, I don't have any construction experience. So what is the best way to protect myself from buying a money pit? Great question, by the way, and a very common question in the world of real estate. I got two answers for this one question. The first answer is to hire a home inspector, okay? No matter where you're at in the country, there are always active home inspectors in your area. Now, you might have to research it. You might have to go on Google and Google home inspectors in your area. You might have to reach out to, say, a title company or a trusted realtor that you might know and ask them who they would recommend as a home inspector. And I would hire a home inspector to come and inspect the home. Now, that would be like a step one, and you could probably do these two steps or these two answers simultaneously, like on the same day. But step two, okay, so I would have a home inspector come and inspect the home. They're going to go through and they're going to look at it from the foundational perspective, the structural perspective, the roof, the plumbing, the electrical. They're going to go through their checklist of things that they're going to inspect on your property. And then they're going to give you a long report on what needs to be fixed, if anything at all. Now, most houses have at least one or two things that need to be fixed, but in the case of the real estate investing environment, there's probably a laundry list of things that need to be fixed on a lot of houses. So that's one way to start. That's probably going to cost you anywhere between $250 to $500, depending upon the size of the house, say your average home size. And they typically base it off of square footage when they say quote you or charge you to do so. That's number one. Now, that at that same time that the inspector is going through the house, maybe the inspector inspects the house in the morning, I would have a meeting with a general contractor or a remodeling company, whatever you want to classify them or call them, meet you out at the property and give you a price on fixing these things. Now, a portion of that can certainly be pushed back onto the seller as a reduction in sales price, but the contractor is going to know what the true cost is to fixing any and all issues that the inspector found. And the contractor might find other issues that the inspector did not find because if they're going to be tearing down walls and moving windows and things like that, they're going to be peeling back the drywall, which an inspector does not. But here's my point. The question is pretty simple. I don't have construction experience, so what is the best way to protect myself from buying a money pit? Well, if you spend, say, contractors will usually give you a free estimate. Inspectors will charge you, as I said, per square footage, and it's typically around $250 to $500 on your average size house across the country. Spending that $500 in a day's worth of effort will give you a very good insight as to what kind of costs are truly associated with buying that house, fixing up that house to sell, or fixing up that house to live in or to rent. Whatever your goal is, whatever your objective is, that's going to give you the best insight to that. Now, there are a lot of people out there that like to estimate these things on their own, which is perfectly okay. I would classify those folks as being veterans in the business, and those folks that can do that have done several deals. It doesn't appear that this particular person has a lot of seasoning or a long track record under their belt. So this would be the things that I would do to protect myself in the beginning. Even if you choose not to buy the house, maybe there's too many things wrong with it. Maybe the cost of the repairs exceed what would be normal in the price range. Maybe the seller's not willing to negotiate on the sales price. There's some things that that just don't make you feel comfortable in buying it. Then I would not buy it. Okay, it's I see too many people go out there. They buy houses. They think that they can fix up, they can rehab, they can do this, they can do that. They get in way over their head due to lack of experience, lack of support, lack of understanding. and they end up losing a lot of money on a deal that they could have ultimately avoided altogether with a simple $200 to $500 inspection report and bringing out professional licensed contractors in your area. Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you, you start using licensed contractors, they're more expensive than the unlicensed contractors, but you also have a license to appeal to, okay, to in turn gather or to protect yourself, okay, if the contractor fails to perform. Like here in Arizona, we have the register of contractors that if a contractor does not perform according to the contract, we can appeal to them and actually win a case against the contractor if it needs to get to that point. But a lot of times people will use unlicensed contractors because they're cheaper, and sometimes they do good work, sometimes they don't. I'm sure there's just as many good stories as there is bad about that, but that's what I would do. Going back to the original question, I don't have construction experience, so what is the best way to protect myself from buying a money pit? I would hire an inspector, and I would bring out a licensed contractor to give you an estimate. You might bring out 2 or 3. You get 2 or 3 estimates on fixing up the house or the property to the level that you want to fix it up. And you could probably do that in one day. Have the inspector come in the morning, have the contractors come in the afternoon. You could hand them the inspection report, and they could give you an estimate on what it would take to fix, repair, and to do those types of things. And then you could ultimately go back to the seller and renegotiate the sales price of the property by doing so, and actually cut some of the cost of that sales price off because of the repairs that need to be done. So, or the seller might want to do those repairs themselves, which is perfectly okay as well. So that being said, that would be my answer straight up. Use professionals, okay? If you're going to be a professional investor, surround yourself with professionals. Bring those people in that are experts in those areas, that have an eye for detail, that are picking up on things that you or I may not pick up on because our minds are focused someplace else. Let them do their job, pay them well to do their job. They'll protect you, which ultimately protects your pocketbook. With that being said, this is Troy Fullwood with Pinnacle Investments and the Thriving Investor. Don't forget to like our videos. Don't forget to share our videos, and feel free to leave comments, positive comments. We love them all day long. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care. Bye now.